been no word from Kirkin since the Palathon fell.
So, this is it, huh? We're what's left of the Immortals?
We?
Hey now, alumni count.
Jack of Saren!
Speaking of alone.
You're to come to my flagship alone, or I'll kill everyone here. I've let the Queen's rebellion go on long enough as it is.
You can try.
Don't go crawling his hump, kid. Not yet.
Hump is what?
It means don't go picking a fight. I think I might know why he's here. Sandrak! It's been a minute.
Ted, you look well.
Well, you don't. You look wicked. Like a root grown wrong where the earth didn't want it.
Who's picking a fight now?
Shh! Watch. He's gonna bind him to an oath.
I'm surprised you've come out of hiding.
Yeah, weren't my first choice, but I owed the kid a favor. You mean it about him? He goes with you, he's safe? Gaius Arastaya, Ueno Rajachi.
Ometedeliame, Atameni.
We'll be there in due course.
You just signed me up for what?
Ah, clean out your ears. He said you're going to his flagship. Can you think of a better way?
To die?
No, dummy. To figure out what Sandrak's plan is. The wound expanding this much, this fast. He knows he done fucked up. Thinks he needs another tryout to help him fix it.
You have nothing to back any of that up.
Now look, Sandrak went so nut-nut, we got no choice.
I'll go. He's right.
Jack, I'm so glad you're alive.
Kirkin! Holy shit, where are you?
Sandrak's flagship. I've been his guest for some time now.
Better get back to Greyvale. Silas Meade, Terror of Yulthian Fields. You made it.
Well met again, sir. If I have a knack for anything, it's surviving.
It's a good trait to have, and we can use every soldier we can get.
Thank you, sir.
I'd better go. Silas. I'd better... lordship. I'm happy to see you well.
Largely due to your deeds and what seems like endless courage, my friend. Seven Ridge will not let them go unrewarded.
No need for that. We're a team, Hauser. But if you were wondering, my favorite color is somewhere between navy and ultramarine blue. I feel like I could rock a killer cape game.
Consider it done.
Talk to you later. So good to see you alive, Ambassador.
And I'm glad the rumors of your death turned out to be just that.
How are you getting along here, given the circumstances?
I'm cold. Carthusian wine is an affront to grapes, but Zendara's more eager to hear my counsel than Kirkin ever was.
Good to hear. About the last part, I mean. I have to go on back. Selko, I knew you'd make it.
Jack, I'll admit you were gone for so long I was starting to worry. We had no way of searching for you. Sandrak dismantled our scrying network, and we dared not risk an airship.
You know me. Nick of time or not at all.
With the former Grand Magnus in tow. Impressive all round, sir. I've never heard him so scared, you know. Sandrak. He fears you, sir.
No, he needs me. That's the scary part.
Needing someone is a vulnerability. Exploit it.
That's the plan. In theory, anyway. And thanks, by the way, for getting as many as you could out of the Palathon. We're all in your debt.
You better go, kid. I'll hold down the fort here with Zendara, even if she's none too fond of me on Kirkin's behalf.
I'm just glad that she's not calling me initiate every 5 seconds anymore.
Well, how come? That's a term of beaucoup respect here in Kelthus.
Hold up, really?
It's what their Magni call each other, the initiates of Thal, oath sworn to the braided lords of Kelthus. Calling you that is like calling you one of her own.
You're shitting me. This whole time?
World's chock full of mystery and misconstruals, ain't it? Anything else I could demystify for you before you leave?
Why'd you stop being the Grand Magnus of the Immortals?
Here it is. What do you know about the Mandate?
Using our magic corrupts Aveum, so it's our duty to restore it when we find signs of that corruption.
So you don't know shit about the Mandate, then?
If there's more to it, tell me.
One benefit of not being your Grand Magnus? Telling you the rest of it ain't my responsibility no more.
Whatever it is, you wouldn't go along with it. Or were afraid to.
Detective time's over, champ. Subject sickens me to the core. And to think I convinced others the Mandate was any kind of path to virtue makes it 100 times worse.
What's wrong with the Pentasod?
That nightmare mass of malignancy pulling at its skirt? Can't stay had a word for it that escapes me at the moment. More or less, man, doomsday window. So, can't be all that bad. Like I said, that's what Sandrak's wanting your help with.
Now that magic's back on, can you see what's in my head?
How'd you think I knew you were in a bit of a spot here? Yeah, that mind link's back. Just fits and spurts, though. So hopefully it's petering out. I want it to go away just as much as you do, believe me.
Why'd you stop being the Grand Magnus of the Immortals?
Here, so...
If there's more to... Take care of you. Pretty sure I can take an air skiff from Lucium to Sandrak's flagship.
Won't be hard to find. Rasharn's been amassing an armada on the Wound side of the border for some time. Frankly, I was worried it might be coming here. So how'd you do it?
You mean restore your magic?
No. How'd you survive? I thought the worst.
Okay. So don't get angry, but it turns out that my childhood friend Luna, the one that I thought was dead, turns out she actually ended up being the hand of Sandrak.
What?
I know, right? Anyway, she ended up betraying him at the last minute and saved me. Then we hid out in Saren for a while before I figured out how to get those crazy shackles off. I asked her to come here, but...
Are you okay? This sounds made up.
It does, doesn't it?
Also, I'm going to act like you made it up because I really don't want to end up killing you.
Because, in the end, you and I are
Because
solid.
if I did, you wouldn't show up to your meeting with Sandrak, and then he'd end up killing the rest of us.
Look, it's not as bad as you think.
What I think is that it sounds insane, Jack. And if it's true... No, I can't even think about it being true.
Zendara.
No, Jack. I appreciate your help here, but I don't think we should talk right now. You shouldn't waste time. Sandrak's waiting for you.
You better go, kid.
Hold up. You're shitting me. This...
World's chock full of...
Take care.
You better go, kid. I'll hold up.
I'm just glad that she's not calling...
Well, how come? That's a term of beaucoup respect here in Kelthus.
Hold up. Really?
It's what their magni call each other. The initiates of Thal. Oath sworn to the braided lords of Kelthus. Calling you that is like calling you one of her own.
You're shitting me. This whole time?
World's chock full of mystery and misconstruals, ain't it? Anything else I could demystify for you before you leave?
Take care. Orphe, bet you saw me coming.
Candle. Fortunately for us, this is one of the timelines where you returned.
Whoa, you can see me in alternate timelines? Well, hold up. I don't always make it?
Sometimes your friends fail to catch you. Sometimes you two have a falling out and you leave your safe house alone, and the Rashanians run you down.
You know about Luna?
Not really. We can only infer her presence in our visions of you. Otherwise, she is invisible to us. Well trained in the secret of mirrors, we suspect. You're lucky to have such a talented Magnus on your side. Which order is she? This ghost? Strange that you didn't introduce her to the Immortals.
Look, I don't want to lie to you. She used to be in the Order of Masks. That's over with, though. She doesn't work for Sandrak anymore.
A Rashanian?
Not really. Well, okay, she calls herself one now, but also they kidnapped her a long time ago, and I only sort of get it, but she's my friend, right? That's all that matters.
It's a start. In any case, we are grateful for whichever rivers brought you back to us, Candle of Shaled.
Good chat, Orphe. Belming? Holy shit, you managed to escape the Palathon.
Barely. I was still aboard one of the slower airships making for Kelthus when Sandrak tampered with everyone's magic. We were afraid the airship's Arcano engines would short out and crash us into the side of a mountain. Thankfully, he left most of the ley lines intact, and we were lucky to be sailing across one that remained.
Sounds horrible.
I hear you're the one that brought all our magic back. It turned the tide here against Rishal. We're all in your debt, my friend.
All right, Belming.